Hey, how you doing? This is Orlando Pena. So, what do you think about when the words of desire and pleasure come to mind? You know, recently I was watching their autobiography, or we can say their story of Andy Whitfield. So for those who don't know who Andy Whitfield is, he was the main actor who played Spartacus in the show Spartacus, which was on the History Channel. I believe that's where it was playing. I think it was the History Channel. But anyhow, I watched the show for quite a while, and it shocked me when I found out that he had cancer, and you know, they replaced the actor and they put someone else. And within a year's time, this young man passed away. In watching his autobiography, you know, I didn't know that this young man was enlightened. And as I came across his story, I was touched by the relationship he had with his wife. I was touched by the relationship he had with the world, the relationship and the connection he had with his children. And sometimes we see actors and we only envision, as we can say, what we're watching on TV, and we really don't know much about their story, their life. We get lost in the make. The point of this video is that we all need to be in touch and realize that there is a story in everyone's life. There is an accomplishment, but before you reach an accomplishment, there's also a story in the back. I'm recently reading this book called The Four Noble Truths, and it talks a lot about those things that we go through as human beings. You know, we go through desire, we go through attachment, we go through suffering. And one of the things that it explains, and as I was watching their autobiography, Mr. Andy Whitfield, is that everyone has suffering. And we work so hard not to be caught in that moment instead of being in the here and now. And what I mean is that we constantly stuck on the yesterday. We constantly stuck on what happened a few years ago, what happened, you know, a few hours ago, whatever it may have been. Instead, being in the present moment, the now, the here and now. And one of the things that Mr. Andy Whitfield was speaking in his autobiography is that people are so caught up waiting for something, or they're so caught up that when something happens in their life, now they want to embrace certain things. They want to embrace enlightenment. You may want to embrace religion. You may want to embrace your family. Instead of being in the here and now and embracing people now, embracing your belief system now, embracing your cultural upbringing now, which is love, if you was raised with love and compassion, because that's what conquers the world. Ask you the question, what do you think? What's the difference between desire and pleasure? We as a people, including myself, have to take responsibilities for our actions now, for our actions today. So they may be things that we cannot change from the past, but we can only go forward. And in going forward is to stay in the present. One of the things that I try to practice, and I do my best, not perfect at it because it's constantly a work in progress, is that every morning, no matter how late I am, what brings me to the here and now is that I make my bed. That's what brings me. It might sound funny, but I could be running late for work, I could be speeding, but I will stop and I will make my bed before I leave the home. That brings me to the present. That brings me some focus. Another thing that I practice in the morning when on my way to work, as I'm walking the street, I'm being conscientious, can't get the word out today, being very conscious of what I'm doing. as I'm walking, where I'm stepping. And I say a silent prayer to myself. I say, thank God for another day. Thank God for the air that I breathe. Thank God for the steps that I take. Thank God for being in great health. So I'm constantly being in gratitude, not in just taking. So those are some of the things that work for me. Make a comment below and let me know what works for you. In ending, again, take a look at this book when you get an opportunity, The Four Noble Truths, and also take a look at Andy Whitfield's biography, which is, I believe, is on Netflix, and you will be touched. Instead of just saying, this was an actor, he was blah, 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 he played a good part, there's always a story behind the individual. With that, this is Orlando Pena, and I'll see you again on the next video. Great blessings.